still bought into the falling USD JPY, which dropped from 105 to 104. He directly earned 500 million US dollars. With such operations, he could secure 2 billion US dollars in profit in one night. This would bring his funds to over 7 billion US dollars. And he planned to let this capital sit in the foreign exchange market until he had predictive ability the next day to make another move. Earning just 2 billion US dollars would be sufficient. Chapter 56. Xiao Yitai is in big trouble. Looking at the USD JPY price of 103. Qin Fei smiled, hugged Yang Yi, and decided to help her with the children's matters. With a close expression, he said, "Baby, for our Qin family, we need to work hard." Yang Yi blushed, knowing exactly what Qin Fei meant, and shyly nodded. The two returned to the room and had some fun, which lasted until dawn. As soon as it was dawn, Qin Fei got dressed and, back to work, opened his computer to check the USD JPY trend. It was morning in the lighthouse country, and due to the time difference, the USD JPY had just opened. He was ready with 9 billion US dollars at the opening to predict a wave of movements. He predicted that a new round of decline for USD JPY was about to begin. A smile appeared on his lips, with the predicted trend in hand. The downward trend was significant, and he was sure he would fully reap the benefits this time. He aimed for the USD JPY to drop below 99. The more it fell, the more money he could make. "Cousin, why are you still awake so late? Aren't you afraid of getting tired?" Yang Yi Leonid offered. Seeing that he wasn't sleeping, she got up to keep him company. Qin Fei glanced at her slender figure, playfully patted her cheek, and expressed concern. "I still have to trade Forex. If you're tired, go to sleep. You were exhausted earlier. For the future, you must take care of your health." Hearing Qin Fei's words, Yang Yi sweetly replied, "I know, but if you don't sleep, I won't either. Cousin, do you want some coffee? I'll pour you a cup." Qin Fei nodded, and Yang Yi immediately went to pour him coffee. After pouring the coffee, she sat beside him to accompany him while he traded Forex. Although she didn't understand, she silently watched him operate, her eyes sparkling with admiration. Since Qin Fei wasn't sleeping, she also stayed awake, as her heart was entirely with him. She knew that Qin Fei had a good relationship with a female assistant in Beishan, someone named Zhao Liang, whom she had met and recognized at a glance. However, she didn't say anything because she understood that her cousin must have his reasons. As long as her cousin's company could develop, she didn't care about other matters. At this moment, Qin Fei saw the price of 103 drop to 100, ready to break through 99. He took a sip of coffee, his expression serious. As soon as it broke 99, his eyes lit up, and he smiled widely. "Great, 99 is broken, and 98 is not far behind. At this rate, if I short, I can achieve over 33 profit. Getting 12 billion US dollars will not be a problem." The key was to let the 12 billion US dollars break through 20 billion US dollars. He needed to push the USD JPY up once before letting it drop again. He planned to push it up now. Without an increase, there would be no volatility, making it difficult to achieve multiple profits. He saw a contact and, smiling, edited an English document to send to stock god Buffett. Buffett had invited him to dinner, but until now, he hadn't had the time to go. However, taking this opportunity, he planned to leverage Buffett's influence to raise the USD JPY. After sending the English document, it wasn't long before he received a reply. "Buffett, great. I'm willing to cooperate with you to push up the USD JPY. We will definitely create a world record and achieve substantial profits." Qin Fei laughed and replied, "Mr. Buffett, this time, the rise of USD JPY will undoubtedly deal a heavy blow to the island nation's capital. Our profits will definitely be good." "Buffett, of course. I recognize your strength. Looking forward to our collaboration." Qin Fei, looking forward to it. The two agreed to push up the USD JPY together, but this time, the island nation's capital had no idea that they were about to be set up. Why would the rise of USD JPY threaten the island nation's capital? Because the island's foreign exchange impacted their foreign asset transactions, so they needed to stabilize this market. Foreign exchange equals how much your country's currency can purchase in goods. Originally, one unit could buy two identical value items, but now, if it drops by half, it can only buy one. How could this not make some capitalists in the island nation anxious? Qin Fei, in conjunction with stock god Buffett, aimed to push the USD JPY back up to 105. The island nation's capital, upon seeing this, would surely be in a panic. Xiao Yitai was a seasoned trader at a major bank in the island nation. He traded for the bank's securities and had recently profited from the decline of USD/JPY. In simple terms, he held 500 billion US dollars with a profit of 20, earning 100 billion US dollars. He was genuinely prosperous, planning to buy a yacht, a villa, and even support a few island nation actresses. Now, after the USD/JPY fell to 98, especially after seeing it rise back to 100, he was excited to plan another drop for USD/JPY to gain over 100 billion US dollars in profits, enabling him to retire successfully. Yoshi, the USD/JPY has risen to 100. Let's bring it down again. Let it drop below 95. I can make a lot of money. A group of staff members looked excited. After making money, they could also receive substantial bonuses. Following Xiao Yitai's instructions, they began to push it down again. But they had no idea that this rise in USD/JPY was a setup by stock god Buffett and Qin Fei. How could it possibly drop back? Completely aware of the trend, Qin Fei began to push down at a specific point, fully anticipating the upcoming trend, creating an invincible situation. The USD/JPY could not possibly drop. Xiao Yitai invested 500 billion US dollars, and in no time, he lost 50 billion US dollars, half of what he had originally earned, causing his expression to change unpredictably, not understanding why this sudden loss had occurred. What was going on? Why did the USD/JPY suddenly rise? The US stock market was lowering interest rates. It was impossible for such a reverse growth to happen. Bakiru, who was pushing up the USD/JPY. Soon, a piece of news came out, and he understood who was behind the rise. The International Financial Report revealed that stock god Buffett was chasing the USD/JPY with 1 trillion US dollars, indicating a significant upward trend for the dollar. This time, the USD/JPY would return to the price level of 105. Buffett's reversal was thanks to the guidance of a high-level expert, enabling him to successfully push up the USD/JPY. This genius was a talent from Hong Kong, who had once defeated stock god Buffett, and this time, the USD/JPY would surely break 105. Once these pieces of news spread, Xiao Yitai's expression changed, astonished and shocked. He never expected that not only was it stock god Buffett, but also a terrifying powerhouse behind him. To be able to guide stock god Buffett meant that this was an even more formidable figure. His expression turned grim, and in a panic he quickly shouted, "Sell off. Sell everything. Sell it all." This sell-off was merely to stop the loss. A group of staff helped operate, watching their currently losing funds. Each of them looked grim. With pale faces, they spoke up, "Boss, if we stop the loss now, we might lose everything we earned before." "Yes, Mr. Xiao Yitai. If we stop the loss now, we will lose 100 billion US dollars. Everything we originally earned will be gone." "Mr. Xiao Yitai, do we really need to stop the loss?" Although he had to cover his losses now, he had no other choice but to cut his losses. Gritting his teeth, he ordered, "Sell everything, close all positions, leave nothing behind. I'll take responsibility for the losses." He waved his hand, instructing everyone to stop losses at the 105 yen level. But in the end, the selling was too slow. The rise was too terrifying. After stopping losses, his losses exceeded his original assets. This time, all the money he had earned was lost. After a loss of $100 billion, he lost another $100 billion. Mr. Ono was pale and trembling. He never expected to lose so much and nearly lost his balance and fell to the ground. Mr. Ono, the bank is calling, saying you need to take responsibility for this loss." "Mr. Ono, are you okay?" Suddenly, a call from a senior executive informed him that he had to be responsible for the loss, and Mr. Ono couldn't bear the blow and fainted. People nearby quickly called for an ambulance, taking him directly to the hospital. Mr. Ono was rushed to the hospital, but now, with no increase in the $105 yen rate, others looked on in disbelief. Their faces expressed regret, especially as the dollar yen began to fall. A group of people exchanged glances, feeling that the dollar yen was not something ordinary people could play with. How could seasoned bankers, with one careless move, end up losing everything here? If you can't outplay the big players, you are just the lamb being slaughtered by them. The financial market is incredibly ruthless. It seemed that Mr. Ono had been set up. If he had held on to 105, he wouldn't have lost anything. Yes, it has already started to drop. Not to mention making a profit. It should still be possible to retain the principal. Sigh, this time it was obvious that someone had set a trap for Mr. Ono, and many capitalists from the island nation had been badly hurt. The stock god is indeed the stock god, and anyone who can collaborate with the stock god Buffett must be even more formidable. Indeed, that person has even defeated the stock god. In front of him, Mr. Ono is nothing. This time, the dollar-yen rose to 105 and then fell back. Such repeated rises and falls. The biggest beneficiary is actually Qin Fei, not the so-called stock god. He pulled up alongside the stock god just to profit from one rise and one fall. This way, he could break through $20 billion in assets. Having earned a substantial amount of money, he achieved his goal. As for the resulting consequences, it had nothing to do with him. The capital of the island nation went bankrupt, and this time, the profits of the island nation's capital suffered significant losses. Chapter 57. Qin Fei is a great benefactor of Hong Kong, but who would have thought that he would make a fortune? With a total asset of $20 billion equivalent to 120 billion Hong Kong dollars. With this 120 billion Hong Kong dollars in hand, Qin Fei's assets have successfully exceeded 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. His total assets are now close to 200 billion Hong Kong dollars. Now he can truly be considered a wealthy person in Hong Kong, stepping into the top, one of the super rich in Hong Kong. Is 100 billion Hong Kong dollars not considered a super rich? It should be noted that even the Li family would find it difficult to take out 100 billion Hong Kong dollars in cash all at once. He used the 120 billion Hong Kong dollars to purchase a wave of shares in TVB, increasing his holdings to 30. From today onwards, he has become the co-largest shareholder of TVB. What does Sir Run Shaw count for? His shares are now on equal footing, and by acquiring some shares from other shareholders, he could easily become the largest shareholder of TVB. This way, he would help Qin Yao fulfill her dream and establish her status as a little princess. Unfortunately, it was still too early. It was not even 2 a.m., and the Hong Kong news media probably hadn't woken up yet. Otherwise, there would definitely be overwhelming news reports about his acquisition of 30 of TVB shares and the emergence of a new billionaire in Hong Kong. Taking advantage of the early hour, Qin Fei pulled Yang Yi aside and went back to sleep, completing his task of expanding the Qin family. After a good night's sleep, when Qin Fei woke up, he felt particularly special. Being a billionaire gave him more confidence. After leaving his room and sitting on the sofa, a maid immediately served him a cup of tea and brought the morning newspaper to the table. "Young master, this is this morning's newspaper. I saw it mentioned you," she said before leaving to wake up Qin Yao. Qin Fei picked up the newspaper and indeed saw the headline news, a smile spreading across his face. A new billionaire is born in Hong Kong. A prodigy from Hong Kong, under 25 years old, has become a billionaire, surpassing Sir Run Shaw and outshining the Li family, truly the number one in Hong Kong. The young billionaire, Qin Xiao, has quickly made waves in the financial world, befriending stock god Buffett, a legendary figure of this generation. It took the Li family years to achieve a net worth of 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. While he had done it in just a few days, he was the new legend of Hong Kong. The early newspaper reported everything, and he was well informed about these people's news, because his bank account showed a deposit of 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, plus the 30 shares of TVB. No one dared to doubt his wealth. Looking at the newspaper with a smile, he noticed that Qin Yao had already woken up. He waved her over with a smile, saying, "Yao Yao, from today onwards, you are the number one princess of Hong Kong. No one can compare to you. I will make you the only young lady of TVB. No matter how popular the actresses or actors are, they will have to please you. You are the princess of TVB." Qin Yao looked confused, not understanding what her brother was talking about. She had just woken up and rubbed her eyes, looking dazed. "Brother, what happened? Did something happen with TVB? Or did you do something again?" Qin Fei laughed and handed her the newspaper. Only then did Qin Yao pick it up to read carefully, and the more she read, the more her expression changed. In the end, she was left with her mouth agape, unable to believe that her brother had become the new billionaire of Hong Kong. The news compared him to the Li family. Now Qin Fei could indeed be compared to the Li family. How could Qin Yao not be surprised? She was so shocked that she nearly swallowed her own tongue. And now, it wasn't just Qin Yao who was astonished. Several others were equally surprised. Inside the luxury mansion at Repulse Bay, Li Chaoran, accompanying his son for breakfast, was resting on the sofa when a servant brought in the newspaper. Upon seeing it, Li Chaoran's expression changed as well. The headline read, "Li family's real estate plummets by 30. Hong Kong's financial storm sweeps through real estate. Countless borrowers are on the roof. The Li family oppresses borrowers." Utterly inhumane, the new generation of billionaires, Mr. Qin, donated 1 billion Hong Kong dollars to the Welfare Association to help the poor in Hong Kong. Mr. Qin is the new hope for Hong Kong. The benevolent young billionaire, Qin Xiao, willing to help those in need during the 2008 financial crisis, is truly kind-hearted. Li Chaoran's face darkened, nearly tearing the newspaper to shreds. These media outlets were too outrageous. When had the Li family ever pressured others to repay debts? He had also donated tens of billions of Hong Kong dollars this year to help others. How could he be accused of being inhumane? These people were fabricating stories. However, that wasn't the main point. The main point was the introduction of Qin Fei as a billionaire, a net worth of 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, which included the deposits in the bank. He quickly called the bank to confirm. Now Qin Fei was already a super VIP at Hong Kong's top bank. As for the specific figure, the bank was reluctant to disclose it, but just this super VIP status indicated Qin Fei's net worth of 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. He knew that in Hong Kong, only those with deposits over 100 billion could have such a super VIP status. This indicated that Qin Fei's deposits truly exceeded 100 billion. In just a few days, he had gone from seeking funds from the Li family to becoming a billionaire with over 100 billion in deposits. Li Chaoran was greatly shocked. This young Qin Xiao was too incredible. In less than a few days, he had amassed over 100 billion in deposits. This meant that he was now among the top one of the rich in Hong Kong. If he continued like this for a few more days, he could really surpass the Li family. Li Chaoran felt a bit uneasy. Beside him, the eldest son of the Li family looked over, puzzled by his father's changing expression. "What's wrong?" He picked up the newspaper from Li Chaoran's hand, and his expression also turned to shock, his mouth agape enough to fit an egg. "Dad, this Qin Xiao actually acquired 30 of TVB's shares. He really became the largest shareholder of TVB. He is now a billionaire. And that doesn't he even include TVB's shares. Is he really that wealthy?" Li Chaoran's face darkened. He had no idea the other party was so wealthy and powerful. He regretted not having offended him earlier. With a sigh, he felt helpless, realizing that siding with Sir Run Run Shaw had caused them to offend such a talented individual in Hong Kong. It was too unwise. TVB was about to change hands. Seeing the newspaper, Sir Run Run Shaw would surely not be in a good mood. On the other side, in the director planning group of TVB, they were arranging some television programs today. After finishing his arrangements, Sir Run Run Shaw had his young mistress bring him a newspaper. Upon seeing the headline, which boldly stated the largest shareholder of TVB, with 30 shares, was the billionaire Qin Xiao, he realized TVB was truly going to change. Mr. Qin holds 30 of TVB. If he acquires just one more, TVB will belong to him. Sir Run Run Shaw is getting old. The TV dramas he produces are not good anymore. I support Qin Xiao managing TVB. The thinking of young people is more in line with the times. TVB should be sold to Mr. Qin. The celebrities in Hong Kong all agreed that Mr. Qin should take over TVB. TVB needed fresh blood, not old fossils. Seeing the last sentence about old fossils angered Sir Run Run Shaw so much that he directly tore the newspaper apart. He threw it on the ground, his face grim, and for once, he was completely furious. His young mistress, standing beside him, didn't forget to comfort him. "All right, don't be angry. This young man is indeed impressive. He has achieved the title of billionaire in such a short time, and he is quite capable. His fame is rising rapidly, and there is no need for us to oppose him. You're getting older now, so why not just sell TVB to him? This time, I sincerely advise you. After all, Qin Fei now holds 100 billion Hong Kong dollars and 30 of TVB shares. He is determined to take over TVB. Even if we don't sell, he can still find others to acquire a few points of shares, and then he could become the largest shareholder and call a shareholders meeting. With a vote, he would definitely become the chairman. If we sell to him now, We can still do him a favor, but Sir Xiao is still a bit reluctant. His expression is unpredictable. TVB is my last asset. I have sold even my capital. What else do I have? I want to see what he plans to do. I want to sell this little bit of shares. The other party looks tough, and the young mistress watches this unfold, sighing but saying nothing. She knows Sir Xiao's character. He will never compromise in the end. TVB has already burned through over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, even if it can be sold for a few hundred billion. It won't change anything. So, selling it is equivalent to not selling it. Sir Xiao truly doesn't lack this little money. At Repulse Bay, inside Qin Fei's luxury villa, he donated 1 billion Hong Kong dollars to the Hong Kong Welfare Association to help unemployed individuals. And the association specifically brought reporters to thank him. Upon arriving at his mansion, they expressed their gratitude. Mr. Qin, you're truly a living Buddha for Hong Kong. On behalf of the impoverished, I thank you for your donation. This 1 billion Hong Kong dollars is extremely important to us. Mr. Qin's contribution can solve the problems of thousands of poor families. You are indeed a great benefactor of Hong Kong. Qin Fei remained calm and casual, saying, as a Hong Kong person, now that I have money, of course I should help those in need. In the past, I was also poor. I understand their feelings. And during this financial storm, no one is feeling good. Qin Fei looked heartbroken and sighed repeatedly, which made the beautiful reporter nearby approach with an excited expression. With a serious face, she said, Mr. Qin is really too kind, thinking of ordinary people like this. You are different from the Li family of Hong Kong. Their mortgage rates haven't decreased. Now, some people can't pay their loans and are even going to the rooftops. The wealthy families in Hong Kong are cold-hearted. Unlike Mr. Qin, the other party looked at him with admiration. As a reporter, she had seen too many cold-hearted wealthy families in Hong Kong. Chapter 58. Charity can also make money. Qin Xiao is too enthusiastic. A few months ago, he was just an ordinary worker, but now he has gradually become wealthy on his own. This is true strength. Now he is willing to donate to ordinary people in Hong Kong, and the reporters are praising him endlessly. Mr. Qin comes from an ordinary background and understands ordinary people very well. A donation of 1 billion Hong Kong dollars is much better compared to those Hong Kong tycoons who give nothing. Indeed, I want to write a special report for Mr. Qin and criticize those Hong Kong tycoons who can't afford to donate. Some tycoons in Hong Kong during the financial crisis not only don't help ordinary people, but also harm us even more. These people are nowhere near as noble and great as Mr. Qin. I admire Mr. Qin so much. Mr. Qin, you are my idol. Some people are really hyping him up, making Qin Fei laugh. It's just a matter of making 1 billion Hong Kong dollars. They act like he has some incredible figure. In fact, many Hong Kong tycoons have also donated, but his status is special. Only he deserves to be reported, because he is a billionaire at just 25 years old, which is a focal point for many in Hong Kong. Once this report comes out, many will surely talk about it. A billionaire in Hong Kong is a good person who cares about ordinary people. A great person, a kind-hearted bodhisattva. His reputation is very important in Hong Kong. Don't underestimate the power of some small newspapers in Hong Kong. Some newspapers relate to the concerns of ordinary people. If the reputation is good, they could do any business they want. Reputation is highly valued in Hong Kong. Qin Fei also thought that the Li family would be furious about being trampled on, as it affected many of their businesses. Of course, the Li family has nothing to do with him. He is now planning to acquire shares of TVB and officially join TVB as its chairman. The first person he thought to call was, of course, Sir Xiao. The other party holds the most shares, and he wants to acquire 30 from him the most. Once he secures that, he will hold 60. Without a second largest shareholder, he will have complete control. He certainly called Sir Xiao, and even if he refuses to sell, he can still annoy him. Now, things have changed dramatically. He made a call, and it was Sir Xiao's assistant who answered. Qin Fei politely spoke up. Hello, Mrs. Xiao. My last name is Qin. We have met a few times. Haha, I wanted to ask if Sir Xiao's shares in TVB are for sale. I currently hold 30 of the shares and just need one more to become the chairman of the company. I believe that even if Sir Xiao doesn't sell, others will. Clearly, the other party answered with a wry smile. Mr. Qin, why do you want to acquire TVB? You're already a billionaire. Why do you value TVB so much? Indeed, TVB has a good reputation, and its stock price has remained stable. His acquisition not only fulfills Qin Yao's dream, but also, after the financial crisis passes, TVB's shares will rebound. He smiled and said, I have great confidence in TVB's future. It can bring me the greatest returns. The other party fell silent for a moment and then said, All right, Mr. Qin, I will try to persuade my husband. Give me 1 day. Qin Fei nodded generously. Okay, 1 day. After 1 day, I will personally go to TVB to hold a shareholder meeting. Now he has the right to call a shareholder voting meeting. At that time, the one with the most votes will be the new chairman of the company. As long as he secures 31 of the shares, he can become the chairman. No one can change anything. Even if Sir Xiao doesn't sell, someone else will. Currently, many media outlets in Hong Kong are on his side, and he has become the hottest charitable figure. This reputation ensures that many people are willing to sell their TVB shares to him. This has become a fact, an unchangeable fact. TVB is finally going to change. Inside the TCB television tower, Qin Fei arrived alone this time. Many employees of the television station noticed him, their faces excited, and they respectfully greeted him. Hello, Mr. Qin. I have seen your reports. You are truly a kind-hearted person. Yes, Mr. Qin, you are willing to donate hundreds of millions of Hong Kong dollars to the poor residents of Hong Kong. You are so kind. Now, among the wealthy in Hong Kong, no one can compare to Mr. Qin. He is the conscience of Hong Kong's wealthy. A group of people looked at him with admiration, greatly respecting Qin Fei's strength. Qin Fei is not only young and wealthy, but he is also very kind-hearted. As television station employees, they hope Qin Fei can take over TVB. To be honest, the salaries at TVB have been too low up until now. Many popular actresses earn only 12,000 to 20,000 Hong Kong dollars while helping TVB generate over 100 million Hong Kong dollars in revenue. Yet their salaries never increase. If you say the system at TVB is impossible, how could that be? It's really too exploitative. There are not many people in Hong Kong with a good heart. But Qin Fei is different. He is young, close in age, and willing to donate funds to ordinary people. They believe Qin Fei will be a good boss. They really want to work under such a good boss. Now, TVB is welcoming Qin Fei. As he enters the company elevator, many people hurriedly greet him, until Qin Fei reaches the upper levels of the company. Upon entering, he directly went to the headquarters of the company, where the program planning team is located, filled with a group of top directors who have been with Sir Xiao for many years. Now that Qin Fei is joining the company, they are indeed unhappy. One of them, Sun Yisheng, is a gold medal screenwriter who has planned numerous top-rated TV shows. Noticing Qin Fei's appearance as a protector of Sir Xiao, he gritted his teeth and glared at him with anger. He angrily said, Young man, you acquiring TVB is definitely not for good intentions. I don't believe those media reports. You want to control TVB? Don't even think about it. TVB in your hands will definitely be worse than under Sir Xiao. You, a young man, are not worthy of taking over TVB. Once these words were spoken, many people's expressions changed, and someone hurriedly tried to stop Sun Yisheng, not daring to let him go too far. After all, Qin Fei is currently a 30 shareholder. Holding so many shares means his voice carries significant weight. TVB does not lack gold medal screenwriters. Challenging the major shareholder like this is essentially courting death. Isn't it? Unfortunately, Sun Yisheng, in his anger, could not be stopped and continued to yell at Qin Fei. You young man have no regard for rules. TVB has been operating for so many years, and you just come in to acquire it. I tell you, they may fear you, but I do not fear you. If you have the ability, fire me. Anyway, if you take over TVB, I will never work under you. You, a young man, are definitely a con artist. I won't believe you. Qin Fei remained calm, smiling faintly as he listened to the insults, and instead sat down with a smile. He was not angry and remained very composed. This caught everyone off guard, as they initially thought Qin Fei would be furious, but to their surprise, he showed no change in demeanor. This man is too powerful, being insulted yet remaining unfazed. What they didn't expect was that Qin Fei remained composed and continued. You are Sun Yisheng, right? I have watched your urban magical romance scripts before. I like several of your hit dramas. I'm actually a fan of yours. Sun Yisheng gritted his teeth, furious. So what? I would rather not have fans like you than have written that drama. Qin Fei